Hello everyone and very welcome to my YouTube channel Laiba's English Corner. In our today's video, we are going to discuss another interesting topic, which is metaphysical poetry. You have heard a lot the name of metaphysical poetry, and today we are going to discuss its definition, features and the famous example. So let's start with our video. Take a pen and notebook in your hand and make the notes. Before moving forward to our video, it's a request to subscribe my channel for further notifications. So what is metaphysical poetry? From its name, what you understand that what is metaphysical? Basically, metaphysical poetry is a poetry in which the writer talks beyond the physical world, in which he talks about the things which are not present in the physical world, which doesn't exist in the physical world. The famous example of metaphysical poetry is the sun rising, in which the writer compares sun, the rays of sun, with his lover, that was a girl. So in metaphysical poetry, there is comparison between two things. Now, comparison can be negative, comparison can be positive, but the comparison exists in metaphysical poetry. Metaphysical poetry is a style of writing poetry which doesn't present in other poetry styles, so it's a unique poetry. Now we will discuss some of the features of metaphysical poetry. First feature of metaphysical poetry is personification. You have heard the name of personification. Personification is the term which is used in many poetries. So basically, personification is when you give an object or animal the human behavior, or when you give an object or any non-living thing the human characteristic. We will have a look at the example, the sun rising. In the sun rising, the writer compares the sun with the girl, in which he was scolding sun, he was saying bad to the sun. So he was using personification there. He was talking to the sun as if he is talking to a person. So he was giving the quality of a human to the sun. Second main feature of metaphysical poetry is the use of metaphors. What is metaphor? Metaphor is also used a lot in the poetry, and metaphor is a figure of speech that compares two unrelated things, typically by stating that one thing is another. For example, as I already told you that we are taking example the sun rising as our whole example in this video, and we have seen that he was comparing sun with his lover, the rays of the sun. So similarly, in metaphors, he start the sun rising with the line busy old fool unruly sun, in which he is saying fool to the sun, and fool is a characteristic of the human beings are fool, not the sun. Third famous feature of metaphysical poetry is the use of imaginary. What is imaginary? Imaginary is all about imaginations. In this poem, we have seen that he is comparing two things, a non-living with a living, like the sun to the girl. So here it's all about imagination. In real world, it doesn't exist. Fourth feature of the metaphysical poetry is the abrupt start. What is abrupt start? Abrupt start is basically a sudden start. We don't know the background story, and writer is just starting the poem or any writing. For example, in sun rising, he start with busy old fool unruly sun. So we don't know the background, it's just a sudden start. The fifth feature of metaphysical poetry is uniqueness. We find unique things here. Now, what kind of uniqueness is there? For example, in the sun rising, we had seen that the writer is comparing sun with his lover. So this is a uniqueness, comparing non-living thing with a living thing, and he was calling to the sun as if he is talking to a person. So the sun rising by John Donne is one of the famous poem of the metaphysical poetry. It is one of the famous example of the metaphysical poetry. In this poem, the writer is scolding to the sun because the sun rays are coming in his room and disturbing him and his lover. So this is a very beautiful poetry which is narrated in very unique style. You must read it for once. Thank you so much for watching this video.